And it looks like we are live. Are we live? Are we live? Hello, hello, everyone. If you can see me, if you can hear me, please let me know. Say hi. Beautiful. Excellent. I can see myself. I hope you can hear me as well as I can see myself. And if you have any comments, please post them as in the comments box. Today's show is about relationships, as we usually do on a Wednesday night here in Australia and anywhere where you are in the world. My name is Anastasha Grace, and we are talking all things love, healing, relationships, creating magical connections with another human being, attracting a partner. Our first few episodes, we were talking about twin flames. Then we discussed soulmates, and I shared 3 types of soulmates. And today is a show for someone who would like to know, why are they struggling to attract a beautiful relationship to their life? Why are they struggling to attract that main one, that loving partner? Hey Sonia, hey Rani, hey Kylie. And I'm going to be giving a live healing session as well after I introduce my topic, and we'll talk a little bit about what actually is standing in a way of us either attracting that magical partner or creating those beautiful relationships. Why things go wrong, why those relationships that start so beautifully end up crashing down in a few months or a few years, whatever your experience is, whatever your story is. And I'm going to dive into the very new from Colorado, incredible Lisa, wonderful. I will share a Zoom link, and the first person who will jump on will get a healing session where I actually test into you, and I can tell you exactly what is underneath, what kind of wounds and traumas you might be carrying that create that pattern or create this, repetitive theme in your life to do with love and relationships. And we're going to dive in today into 5 core wounds. I specialize in healing and transformational coaching, and also really like unhooking people from the past, unhooking from those parental or ancestral or even spiritual karma that they might be carrying, so they can step into their most beautiful and expanded self and emanate that field of love that attracts love, and not only love, but then abundance as well. A lot of my clients actually start attracting a lot of money, a lot of opportunities after those healing sessions. Why? Because your vibration increases, your field changes, you don't carry any more of those like heavy baggage that brings you down, and you raise up in your vibration and you start attracting what matches that, right? And hi, Kyra. Wonderful. Kyra, sure, you can ask a question and I will be answering it here. And I will, as I mentioned, diving into 5 core wounds so you can recognize them and you can start already identifying them and changing your life as we go. To get onto Zoom with me, to get onto the session today, all you need is Zoom and good internet, and the healing session will be towards the end of our hour. Hey, Kylie from Sydney. Beautiful. The healing session will be towards the end. So if you have time, if you have an hour to spend, and also if you are you have good internet and you can jump on with me, I will be happy to test into you. What I do is actually I connect with you, and I will be able to pinpoint what is blocking you in your life. Sonia, I'd love to healing right now. Is my partner sent in a good place? What do you mean? We've been together 15 years, never want to lose him. Well, Sonia, straight away I can tell you that your language, as in your program, I don't want to lose him. You're already sending this program into the field, into the universe, which another person will read. So your partner reads that. We are all psychic beings. We're all reading information all the time. We are all having this sixth sense, whether you consciously tap into it like a psychic would do, or you just follow your intuition, or you just get these nudges and feelings. So we all can read surroundings around us, and just look back onto the tribal way of living, where a person who lived on the land could sense the change in the weather, could sense the change in animals, could hear the forest. So we do have that embedded system in us, and we are constantly emanating frequencies. About brain waves, there is also heart waves, and about aura. We're constantly emanating those things. So whatever you emanate is read by the environment response. So just straight away, Sonia, change your programming, change your wording, change your thoughts around never want to lose him, and just put that file into your unconscious mind itself, like, yes, we are together for life. This is beautiful connection. Of course, it's going to last forever. Of course, it's going to last my whole life, and I will do whatever it takes, and I'm fully committed. So our unconscious mind is pretty much just like OS on the computer. Whatever you program you install, you will run that, and you will start affecting your life in accordance to that. And hello, Nitika. And the problem is that we have already installed certain programs in ourselves during our first few years of life. When this cognitive brain was still in development, our survival brain was creating those programs. And depending on the program, that's what's showing up for us right now in our lives. So once we remove that, why the healing and the clearings are so effective, and I've seen like drastic changes in people, just enormous changes from, going from zero to landing like 140K right away, and closing like a contract for $80 million, to healing from cancer, to changing life completely, attracting the life partner, increasing self-worth, like changing life, like moving to another country and creating new career. So it's mind-blowing what happens. Beautiful, Alison. So for people who are just jumping on, once again, I will share what I'm going to do today. I'm going to introduce to you 5 core wounds, which we all have in all kind of extent, and some are prone more to others. I will give you a quick introduction so you are aware what is going on with you, and also what's going on like for other people. When you see certain behavior, you can identify it to other people, and it's incredibly helpful You can identify them in your partner or in people at work, with your children. And I will share a Zoom link, and person who jumps on first will do a healing session, we'll do a clearing session. All you need is Zoom and a good internet, so we can actually like start chatting on this live stream. So if you are happy to be on the live stream today, and you're happy to talk about your issue that you want to share, you like to change, I would be gladly give you a session. It's always super fun. Let me just quickly share my screen, and I will jump into the wounds that block us from love, peace, and abundance. And if you have noticed in your behaviors things like you're getting attached too quickly, or you're feeling insecure, or you're feeling jealous, or you're suffering from anxiety, or you're struggling with setting boundaries in your relationships, you attract the wrong partners, or you feel sometimes super sensitive to criticism, or feelings like being unloved, being undeserving, being unworthy, which is, just like this nagging feeling of a doubt inside of you. I will show you the wounds that are located in your physical body, emotional body, and sometimes carried by the soul through the reincarnation. Those 5 core wounds: rejection, abandonment, injustice, humiliation, and betrayal. They will show up in your life one way or another, and usually we carry 2 most prominent ones. However, sometimes I tested my clients that would have like 4 wounds very intensely showing up for them. It comes from the works of many psychologists, as Freud, Petrakov, Reik, Lowen. Lise Bourbeau described it beautifully in her books and her workshops, very clearly and easily. And we're just going to quickly dive in so you can understand and identify and notice, why do you do what you do? Notice, why do you behave in a certain way? Why do you respond in your life situation in a certain way? And everything is going to become clear. Why? Because it could be the wound of rejection or abandonment or injustice. And what happens is this certain mask is created, like a coping mechanism, depending on the wound. There is a strategy on top of it to protect our wound, right? And once it's healed, once it's recognized and healed, it goes like that. It's an incredible feeling, because I myself have had a very strong abandonment wound, and I can share a little bit more about that later. And it was so strong and so prominent, abandonment and rejection, 2 of them, that it affected my relationships greatly. Basically, like I ran away from my first marriage because of the main wound of rejection. Now I am a practitioner, master NLP practitioner, timeline therapist. I have like over 10 modalities under my belt that I use in emotional clearing and trauma healing and shadow work, and I use past life, between life regression, channeling, and many things that I do to support my clients in their healing. Beautiful. So the first one, and I'll be very quick but very succinct with that. Don't be scared by a complex PDF, wound of abandonment. mask is dependent. So what happens is the feelings of abandoned, deprived of certain needs, and it doesn't have to be something incredibly terrible that could happen in your life. It could be just something really small, like, for example, in my own childhood, I got sick. Just a few things happened at the same period of time, around at the age of 4, when my sister was born, and she was sick, and I was sent off to my grandmother, and I got sick and ended up in hospital by myself. So that looked in a really deep, true wound of abandonment by myself, and also on top of it, the wound of rejection. Like, my parents rejected me because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen them for a long time. So in a child's mind, that's how it kind of puts the child's brain puts it all together and remembers that. The signs of those wounds can be found in the body, and the main wound of abandonment is kind of sad, droopy eyes, and a body of the victim. You can find the pattern of the behavior is prefer endure than rather being alone. So staying in a relationship that is not good for you or does not fully satisfies you, but you still grip onto that, having weak boundaries, having fears of scarcity, having this attachment to the situations, to people, easily cries. Those are the behaviors of a wound of abandonment. Fears solitude, so needs attention, really strongly, against being alone. I cannot be left alone. It becomes like a deepest fear, deepest trauma. I can't be alone. I cannot handle it by myself. I need someone to take care of me. And sometimes it results is like not trusting love. Prove that you love me. So abandaholics and abandophobics, it's the same wound, is that I'm too scared to be attached, or I attach too quickly and I just cannot, I can't imagine my life without this person. So notice if you have this kind of patterns of behavior in your life or someone that you know. Second wound is the wound of rejection. So those two are most common ones. Just because as a child, being a little child, we're so dependent on someone taking care of us that it's just inevitable that in one way or another, those meanings or forms wounds will be formed. Wound of rejection. Feel rejected when their presence is refused, and it could be as simple as the parent doesn't have time for their child, and a child and asks to no, go away, play. Even say the birth of a second sibling could be locked in as abandonment, and it could be locked in as rejection as well. They don't like me, they don't love me, something is wrong with me, I have been rejected. And the mask or the pattern, the behavior that is created from that trauma is called withdrawal or escape, is just running away. I constantly want to run away. If you have been responding to a difficult situation in your life, like, well, that's it, I'm leaving, I'd rather not stay, no one wants me here, I'm gone, bye-bye. This is the desire to constantly run away or withdraw from life as well. Quite often spirituality on meditation is actually a sign of withdrawal from life. I'd rather be in abyss, in ascendance. I'd rather meditate and fly away into a higher dimensions rather than being here and now and deal with what is in my life. As the body shows the signs of rejection, you can see the kind of flat body, missing flat buttocks or no breasts, no chin, small eyes, kind of that disappearance when you want to disappear. Really feels rejected at the slightest criticism, and as a child could create the world of his or her own just to disappear, escape. So escapism from life, this is kind of the behavioral pattern. Fear is panic and the big need of belonging. Wants to belong, wants to be accepted, wants to be seen, and in no shape or form handles the word no. Wound of injustice. This is our third wound, and can be locked in when a child didn't receive much appreciation. This wound is locked in, created a little bit older, 3 to 5, sometimes closer to the age of 7, when a child learns to be social and starts creating identity, and also starts like creating things and more showing themselves who they are. If the parents were not affectionate or demanding, something happened in childhood that a child has looked in as, this is unjust, this shouldn't be happening, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is, they create the mask of rigidity, like this fixation. The body is very proportionate, straight, shoulders back. There could be rigid movement or just really, strong body. Quite tight body. That's how you can pick up rigidity, those like maybe thin, lean, tight, fixed body. This behavior you can see in patterns like searching for perfection, very hard on themselves, so much in control, very rigid fixes, like I said it like this is how it should be. Doesn't like to be sensitive. Like sensitivity is creates too much vulnerability and doesn't feel good. Sees vulnerability as a threat. Fear of coldness, as people being cold to them, however, does not sometimes notice that they are cold or rigid themselves. Could be quite judgmental, and at the same time could be loves to look sexy and attractive, but still you can find like quite a bit of stiffness in the movements or the way they carry themselves. Doesn't like to be wrong, and you will notice the wound of injustice in reactions like this shouldn't be like this, or people that fight for justice, fight for right and wrong, they carry the wound of injustice. What this person actually needs freedom, deep inside wants to live life free from stress, but not capable to live a stress-free life because there's so much criticism, perfection, demanding on self is happening on the inside. And might be demanding of others as well. Obviously, when we are demanding on ourselves, we are very demanding on other people. Betrayal. If you experience your life situations in any shape or form, like as betrayal, you might be carrying this wound. how did it locked in? By someone making a promise and not fulfilling on it. For example, parents say, "Oh, we're going to go to the zoo this weekend," and they don't fulfill on it, or don't fulfill again and again and again, or I will come to your soccer game and doesn't show up, and the parent doesn't show up. And it's also linked to quite a lot of sexuality and the deepest complex just described by Freud. You will see these this wound in the body by seeing the strong body. So that V-shaped man, really strong and muscular, big shoulders, and for women, wide hips and good buttocks. So you can imagine that quite a lot of people actually carry this wound, and the mask is controlling the environment, controlling the situation. I need to know everything. It has to be the way I said it and no other way. The behavior could be manipulative, could be seductive, obviously wants to control, very responsible, and wants to do it his way or her way, and cannot be manipulated. Really hard to surrender, really hard to trust. If you are finding it difficult to trust and you want to control your partner, you want to know everything, you want to prevent any kind of disasters from happening, you could be having this wound of betrayal. Yep, doesn't show its vulnerability, doesn't trust people easily, and can see people as irresponsible. People that are not fulfilling on commitments, they would see a person with a betrayal wound will see it irresponsible. Biggest fear is dropping the ball, failing, fear of failure. Oh no, I can't happen. This can't happen to me. So obviously, the stronger the desire to control, the stronger the fear of dropping the ball. And the need for confidence. They just want to be confident and not be put in a situation where they're lacking confidence or they cannot control. And the last wound, this is the last wound, is the wound of humiliation. You can see it in the body, in a bigger bodies with a lot of protection as well, and a lot of weight. What happens is it's around the stage 1 to 3 when a child learns to go to the toilet and learns about the shame and guilt. That's where it can be locked in, especially if parents have been quite explicit with shaming and using that to control the child or to parent them, to educate them. And the mask is masochism, and it could be emotional, it could be mental. It's not necessarily physical. In the physical, it shows in a way that I will punish myself first before anyone can punish me. So any kind of sloppiness in the clothing will show you this self-abuse pattern, like spots, spilling things on yourself, being overweight, overeating, not being able to stop. So those addictive patterns show the wound of humiliation, not good enough. Humiliation is the most difficult to see because the person punishes themselves inside more before anyone can punish them. Okay, fear of freedom, because they just don't know what freedom to be themselves is. It's like, how is it? What does it even mean to be yourself, right? Humiliation, I just want to give you this definition. It's defined as lowering one's pride, dignity, or self-respect. So anything linked to embarrassment, shame, indignity, people will carry this wound and diminishing self, or even a person could be absolutely perfect, but they accuse themselves like, oh, I'm too fat, or I'm clumsy, or I always break things. No, I don't know, and so on and so forth. And as I mentioned, when you heal those wounds, when you remove the trauma from your life, the most remarkable things happening there are just incredible, like up leveling in the business, completely changing communication with family and friends. I had a client that let me just stop sharing this so I can see you guys and see your comments. Incredible changes. I had a client who was so beautiful with, Lisa saying she's ticking all those boxes. Oh, dear God. I can test, definitely can test you and tell you exactly what is going on, Lisa, and what kind of wounds you are carrying. Example of the client who was such a beautiful soul, such a capable gentleman, young man, so overpowered by parents, so overpowered by controlling mother, constantly feeling not good enough, and literally choosing the career that parents have chosen for him or approved, which was like the easiest, I guess, and spending 20 years in the career he didn't really enjoy, but kind of lived, kind of did what he had to do. After we worked together and cleared those wounds, especially around humiliation, self-trust and self-worth, his communication with his mother and a father changed completely, respectfully, but very firmly. He started setting boundaries. It's like, no, I will not hear this from you. No, I will not take that from you. Thank you so much for sharing, but thank you, no. And it is just the level of growth and self-respect. He just raises incredibly. Now he's got a beautiful partner, beautiful family, and doing really, really well, and so much more confident in himself. So I have just posted a Zoom link for anyone, as I mentioned in the very beginning, for anyone who wants to experience or who wants to heal and test what kind of wound they're carrying, or that blocks them from love, from abundance, from that everything that heart desires. I will bring them on and we'll do the live session, life healing and life clearing. So if you are in in a good internet, you are capable to jump on, please do. In the meantime, I will answer your questions. Kylie, I'm experiencing betrayal around males. Yes, absolutely. That would be the wound, and your way to respond to it would be to control a relationship as much as you can, and sometimes probably not getting anyone get close to you, and only selected ones are allowed to come near you. And straight away I can tell you, like, I'm testing you, the rigidness would be there as well. So your wound of betrayal would come together with injustice. So this being fixed in your ways and stiff and just rigid, not necessarily sexually, however, in your life. Okay, beautiful. So we have someone who just jumped on, and I'm gonna bring a person in. And we're going to do a session. We're going to do a healing session. This is exciting. I love doing it. As you join in, please switch on your video and switch on your audio so I can see you, I can talk to you, I can hear you. And we are going to, I'm just going to get my water. And the main fact about the wounds is that you are more likely to attract something into your life that is going to reflect to you the wound. That's why we need to heal them. Unfortunately, I don't have a sound. If you are on, try to switch on your sound. Hello. Yep, I got a sound. Beautiful. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Wonderful. What's your name?
Kylie.
Kylie, awesome. Do you have a video?
Yes, I do. Hang on. I'll just turn that on.
Perfect. Kylie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, let's do this. This is exciting. I love this bit. So tell me, what would you like to ask? What would you like to learn about yourself today?
I think, like, I was just listening to you before, and definitely betrayal is one of the things that's really resonated with me. And a lot of bit about accountability and responsibility of others. So that's what I've been experiencing a lot lately. So I've been struggling with that.
Okay. What's your main struggle?
Struggling with boundaries and struggling with other people's being accountable for their own actions, but being accountable for what they're doing and responsible for what they're doing. But I've also found on the flip side that comes back to me to try and I've got to fix everything, if that makes sense.
Yep, totally. Yeah. And I can straight away already see and hear the wound of injustice as well. It's unjust, it's unfair that they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They should be doing it and they're not doing it. Yeah. And you take it as a betrayal. Okay. And okay, in order for me to test properly, do I have your permission to connect?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So just explaining to you, to everyone who's listening, when you're working with a practitioner or healer, consent is incredibly important. It's because each person is a sovereign being and have a free will, and they have a how can I say that? They have a right to say no. So every time I work with my client, every time I ask for permission to connect, because I'm going to step into their field. Imagine it's like stepping into your home, right? So asking for permission is like being clean around energy, and the cleaner we are with our energy, the more beautiful this world is going to be. Okay, just take a deep breath and connect to yourself, connect to your heart, to your body. Feel yourself in the body, feel your feet, feel that you're here, you are now, you're safe. If you can invite your guides, your angel, whoever you feel it supports you, God, universe, and just taking a deep breath. Okay, there's also humiliation wound as well, Kylie, at the same time. So betrayal, nope, humiliation, 100%, injustice, 100%, abandonment. and rejection. Okay, so rejection, I'm just making notes. Rejection, humiliation, and injustice. So what do you feel like you're experiencing as betrayal is actually you feeling unjust. This is not should be happening. They should be doing how they like there are rules and they need to follow the rules. And the underlying issue as well is a humiliation. It's like your sense of self, your true self feels humiliated by the whole situation, or will keep creating the situations around you where it will affect your self-worth and self-esteem and yeah, the sense of not good enough. Something is not completely good. Rejection. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test which is the most prominent, which one we can like release and will knock out the majority of your struggle, right? Okay, which would that be? Injustice. So for you, injustice is the bigger one, bigger than you probably realize. And from now on, you can start looking into your life. Where do you feel that there are rules? You gotta obey the rules. Rules help everyone. How is this? Does this ring true?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah. There's boundaries. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Make a distinction for yourself between boundaries and rules, because boundaries are like those energetic standards. Boundaries come from a high self-esteem, from the sense of I know this is my true self and I have the truth, and I will not allow say people to cross my boundaries and do things that I just will not allow, that are not up to my standard. And the rules are like there is a more mental construct. Is I don't know why, but this is the rule and everyone needs to follow it, and how dare they not to follow it, and it creates so much more confusion and it's like and a low self-esteem, so it affects you in an opposite way, right? The boundaries, they kind of internally set up based on your values, what you value and what you know is true for you. And it doesn't have to be true for everyone else, because, you know, to be honest, society does not live by correct energetic laws and correct energetic rules. So sometimes you will not match. If you live out of your own internal truth, sometimes you will not match what society does or human do, and that's okay. However, the feeling of injustice, let's clear that, shall we? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to test into you and find which age it got locked in and what emotion was linked to that situation. We're kind of like locating it in a time-space continuum in your field and removing it, and as a domino effect, it just drops off here. And then from your job, once we remove the root cause, your job is just to start correcting your behavior, saying, oh, well, actually, it's okay. It's okay for me not to control them or in control environment. I just need to set correct boundaries within myself and communicate them gracefully.
I get that. Yep.
And you can give me a specific situation and we can just play it out. So first installment was at the age of 1, before birth, after birth, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. At the age of 1 and 3, the emotion was fire, smell, water. fear. So clearing here. So these are kidney meridians, just under your colon bones. If you can just massage them here and take a deep breath in. And kind of feel yourself traveling back in time, you little baby, one-on-one, something is going on. There's some situation that triggered fear response in the limbic, in the amygdala, our survival mechanism, and just feel how this drops off, and taking a deep breath into your belly. Was it mother's fear? It was linked to your mom, and it was mom's fear. So you just picked it up from her. And actually the feeling of injustice is actually comes from your mom, as in this is the pattern that kind of got passed over, that you picked up from her, that the life is unjust, or not men, but more like life is unjust. Okay. Second, so we're going to find 3 times when it locked in, and once we clear it, it just kind of drops off, and it's usually in the childhood, early in the childhood. Second installment of injustice for Kylie was at the age of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years and 3 months old. The emotion is low self-esteem. Low self-esteem linked to money, love. Okay, mother. Is it mom's? It's yours? Mom said something, did something. Energy transfer, not enough. So it's linked, again, in the situation with your mom, something you've picked up, something was unjust, and you took it as low self-esteem, as like something wrong with me, something I shouldn't have done. That's how it locked in the child's unconscious mind, kind of like I shouldn't have done something. Especially with the word should, because it's injustice and something that you have done. And it could be, as simple as kids do things, kids break things, kids do the wrong things in childhood. It's all about what out of all of the events got locked in as a Gestalt. So it's on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, your stomach meridian is second rib from the bottom. That's your stomach meridian. If you can just like rub there, and between ribs you can find even a painful point, that's your stomach meridian. And taking a deep breath in and clearing that. All of our trapped emotions, they sit in the body. That's how we develop sickness. And depending on what kind of patterns or wounds you're carrying and beliefs looked at, they can start showing up in that organ or that part of your body, or depends like what chakra you the most blocked off, and or needs healing. So you will be able to see. And just imagine yourself at the age of 5 and send your 5-year-old that love and forgiveness from the bottom of your heart. Just send her that acceptance, and that everything is okay. She hasn't done anything wrong. She can do whatever she wants. She's absolutely free to make mistakes, and it's okay. And feel yourself softening. And third installment of injustice for Kylie was this year 5, 6, 7, 7, 1, 7, 2, 7, 3, 7, 4, 7, 5, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7, 9, 7, 10. 7 years and 10 months old. So you're almost 8, 2 months before your 8th birthday. The emotions fire, earth, low self-esteem linked to money, love. Interesting. Have you received any maybe like religious teachings or yeah, just did you have any classes in regards to religion?
Yes, I suppose. I mean, I went to a Catholic school, so
Because
yeah,
like around
around yeah,
eight.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I was at a
something.
Catholic school around that time. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
so that makes sense because it's linked to like higher power, linked to God. Is like if you do this or if you're wrong, the God will punish you. Something to do with those fixed dogmatic beliefs that affected your, again, self-esteem, your sense of self-worth, and about doing wrong or right, and equals low self-esteem. So again, on the left hand side, on your stomach meridian, just at the bottom rib on your left, and taking a deep breath. And again, sending the love and forgiveness and all of the acceptance, unconditional love to that little girl, the age of 8, who's just learning life. And imagine yourself coming back from your childhood and looking at all events of your life and forgiving all of the moments that were wrong, that were unjust, that maybe you feel like they shouldn't have happened. This is not fair. Just let them go. Send each of those events love and forgiveness and acceptance, knowing that this is actually a pattern that was passed over to you from your mom. And if it wasn't passed over, you actually wouldn't have seen those events as unjust. You know, there are optimistic people there that they see everything as a blessing. Or you would have more tolerance or more forgiveness. But because you had it in the beginning, those events showed up to you as unjust. And now you can actually see in the bigger picture, let go. Okay? Can you please say for me, and I will check if we have removed that. Can you please say, I am okay with injustice?
I'm okay with injustice.
You know, you're not fire, smell, water, blah, kidney, paralyzed will. So taking a deep breath in is just your consciousness does not know how to deal with injustice. Yes, that's why there's a paralyzed will, like there is a paralysis, like how can I be okay with injustice? This doesn't make any sense. We all know that injustice is bad, right? The way you can explain it to your conscious mind is through your heart and raising your spirituality and through the spirit, as in life has everything. Life has black and white. Life has day and night. Life has all aspects of life and death. All of it is there. And everything has a right to exist. And things unfold in the way they unfold. And the way you can make them better or bring more healing to yourself and to the world is through forgiveness and through acceptance and emanating love yourself. Because if you walk around with emanating, this is injustice, this shouldn't be, this is terrible, you're adding only terrible and unjust into the world. If you're emanating, you know, I know it hurts. I know it's sad, you know, difficult. It's saddening, but I still can send love and forgiveness. I can still accept things, and I can still accept what is, and I can, you know, pray that things will unfold the way they should unfold. So with the faith in the fact that good will always be good, and good is always there. The life will take its course, and life will always. Then you can bring more goodness into the world and around you, and you will see people actually changing around you. You know, when you don't judge, you don't bash them, you don't act like that judge that only there to punish people that do wrong. People actually start changing for the good, because every person wants to be good. Every person wants to feel that the blissful feeling of healing and love. Every single person, no matter how they act, no matter what they say, no matter how, like, you know, wrong their behavior or actions are. Okay. So just feel that blessed spirit energy, like a waterfall washing down from your crown chakra, and let go of the internal control, and send it to God, and just say it to yourself, God, I give this to you, or whatever you believe in, universe, you know, the higher consciousness, the higher intelligence, and I give this to you. It's for you to, it's for you to see the bigger picture. And the more the more injustice you experience, the more love just emanate back. Give more love back. Okay, so can you please say, I am okay with injustice?
I am okay with injustice.
Okay, beautiful. And I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
Perfect. Amazing. I have not done anything wrong.
I have not done anything wrong.
Excellent. It's impossible to do something wrong.
It is impossible to do something wrong.
Perfect. Amazing. So now what I'm doing is I'm testing into you that it's actually locked in, and that your internal being is capable now of seeing other variations of life. Like when you see a person doing something wrong, just imagine that there are multiple possibilities. There are like hundreds of ways to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the mind perceives only one. There are actually multiple variations of the same event, of the same second of life. There are many dimensions and many variations of time and space continuum, and this one just happening in front of you. Well, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel now?
No, I get that, and actually feel a bit lighter.
Excellent.
When I first started, because I've had this niggling on my right hand side, like in my shoulder blade. It's been like a pressing. Someone keeps pressing me in the shoulder blade, and it's
Ooh.
actually starting to move. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. This is interesting. Would you like me to test what else is there? If there is anything else in that pain?
Oh yes, that'd be great.
Okay. That's interesting. So this is emotion of worthless. The weight, a weight of that. So taking a deep breath as we're clearing that. And I'm just working with your governing meridian. I'm using myself as a surrogate when I'm working with your field. So that's how I do the healing, clearing. Or worthless. Anything else is there? No. Okay. Can you please say, I'm worthy?
I'm worthy.
Beautiful. Can you please say, I am beautiful?
I am beautiful.
Excellent. I love myself.
I love myself.
Yay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your beautiful self and being
Thank
so
you.
open and vulnerable.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Hey. So that's what happens when we actually clearing those wounds and those patterns. And Kimberly says, I have no idea how I ended up here, but I'm so grateful. Wonderful, Kimberly. Thank you so much for your comment. I believe that this is basic knowledge that everyone needs to know, because those wounds affect our relationships, and mostly they affect our relationship with ourselves, with our self-worth, with our self-love. And from there, everything unfolds. From your relationship with self, your whole life unfolds. Your trust, your aliveness, your joyfulness, your ability to create, your excitement about life, and many things are changing for my clients when they go through these healings. My recent client got off the antidepressants after 25 years of really deep depression, after being left and cheated by her husband, and she couldn't get over this pain and wounds of betrayal and injustice. And also, it brings humiliation as well. And she started just withdrawing from life by removing herself, and hence the depression. So these healings are so important, and so important for us, for us to live our full life, because we come here to live our full life, experience ourselves first and foremost. And unfortunately, when we do get born and arrive to this life, we are not taught that this is our main goal and purpose. We are taught all kinds of things, except for the main one, that this is your life here to live and experience, and show yourself, and fully, just be you. Just be you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being with me. As a last thing, I would like to share my program that starts in the middle, in 14th, I think on 14th of February. It's a group program where we actually go in and remove all those traumas and all those healings. It's not an expensive program, and I highly recommend you to join it and participate in it, and take an opportunity to do that healing, do that work for yourself, for your future, and you will see how love and relationship starts showing up in your life, because you deserve it. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to live to the fullest. You deserve the most magnificent things in this life, and this life has all those things available for you. Thanks again for being with me. It's Anastasha Grace. Please feel free to reach out at any time with any questions. If you have, I have lots of videos on YouTube on these subjects and many other subjects, and on subjects of relationships. And see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye.